Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh and in this video we shall discuss the feature news for today, 27th of April 2022, which is on India-UK relationship. Welcome to all the participants, Amlan, Hima, Ashish, Kriti, Kim, Vabani, all of you and other people watching offline. Welcome to all of you. Let's begin this. A statement issued lately by British Prime Minister says Modi has asked Putin several times what on earth he thinks he's doing, Boris Johnson. Now, these kind of statements speak about the optics of relationship that India shares with the UK. This is optics. This is what they want to show to the whole world, that they understand what is India's stance. What is the reason for Boris Johnson to indicate that he knows what our Prime Minister is thinking? This possibly indicates that they want to create friendship with India. This possibly indicates that they are for greater diplomacy with India, even while USA or even while other countries around the world might criticize India for the same. So this speaks about the optics of relationship that is only going towards higher levels. But what is the reason? Let us understand each of them. Now, when we look at the kind of relationship between any two countries or any partnership, I primarily focus on the trade relationship. If the trade is good, then possibly even if there are irritants, they will be ignored. It is only because business drives the economy. Not only business, it is also the taxation which is driving the polity and governance, all of it. And taxation is dependent on business. All these factors are dependent on trade, inter-country or intra-country trade. And therefore, to understand this, we will have to look at the trade between both the nations. The trade between Britain and India has been around merchandise trade. This is the trade of items which are exchanged between both the countries by shipping routes, air routes, etc. So this is across this is around $15 billion. That is India exporting more, around $9 billion, and India importing around $7 billion. That amounts to $15 to $16 billion, and India having a trade surplus with UK. Now this has only increased with time in past few years, but the concern is that India's increase of trade with UK is not in proportion to how it has increased its trade with other allies and partners. Now, noteworthy is that UK and India have had historic relationship shared between each other. That is absolutely true. Am I being received? Just say yes. So, India and UK have had historic relationships. While UK was one of the nations which occupied Indian territory, and the history became, it evolved with time. In the last 70-75 years, we have been an independent nation. However, the policies in UK is not only determined by people who have been residents of UK for all the time, but also by Indian diaspora and also by diaspora from the subcontinent, that is Pakistani diaspora. And these are some of the reasons because of which we see some divergences of interest between UK and India. But then what is the reason for alignment? The reason for alignment is the concerning factor, that is the factor of China. When countries in Europe want a greater relationship with India, this is not to do as much with India as much as what they have to do with a country like China. They have a greater dependence on Chinese manufactured products, and now they want to decrease that dependence and pass it on to another country which can potentially manufacture those items. Which are those countries? Any country. It could be Vietnam, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Cambodia. And interestingly, these countries, European countries, including UK, have been importing products from Cambodia and Vietnam. Textile. They have had better textile partnership in textile industry as compared to what India has. And that for the same reason, India does not have the advantage of textile export to these nations. India has the advantage with other nations with which it has conducted free trade agreement or CEPA agreements. However, countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, Cambodia have the upper edge as far as the European countries are concerned. And that is the reason that India is accelerating its agreement on free trade with these nations. Now, the second destination could be India. The reasons are multifaceted. India has a global presence. India has got one of the fastest growing technology sectors around the whole world. India is destined to grow. IMF itself has stated that India is one of the most fastest growing emerging economies in the world. And this has brought light to what India can potentially do. And that is why all the nations want to shake hand with India, even despite India not criticizing a country like Russia for its acts, right? And these countries acknowledging through diplomacy that we know what it is. Just type down if you are able to receive again, please. Thank you. UK is one of the countries which has partnered with India for many products. For example, if you look at the kind of relationship that India has with UK, one of the important relationships is nuclear cooperation. UK will help India in installing nuclear capabilities in the country. Along with that, India has a huge diaspora presence in UK. Though just until while back, the mayor of London was a Pakistani, erstwhile Pakistani national, Pakistani origin national. But then the largest diaspora of any country that is present in UK, barring UK itself, is that of Indians. 2 million Indians, 20 lakh Indians present in UK. They influence the economy. They provide employment to UK. They provide various kind of blue collared and white collared jobs in the country. So they have a humongous presence there. UK has been spending a lot of money for growth in India so that they can in turn receive the advantage of the same, right? Education sector, there are such universities in UK which have been popular throughout the whole world, Oxford being one of those, and there is a good presence of Indian innovators in UK because of such kind of education sector. Does this not lead to more investments from Indians? Yes, absolutely. We are able to pay for these kind of education sector fees, and this prospers UK's economy. So partnerships are only becoming better with time. Co-production facilities. Now imagine sectors which have been known between households. So Rolls-Royce, these are not only the companies which manufacture the most luxurious cars around the whole world, but also aircraft engines. And when India wants to co-produce aeroplanes in the country, we will have to have partnership with companies like Rolls-Royce. India has been able to acquire European steel manufacturers. One of them is Chorus. Tata Steel has acquired this organization. Similarly, Tata also acquired an organization called as Jaguar Cars. And these are producers of one of the most luxury cars around the whole world. Point being, India has been able to take over quite a few tech companies in UK. However, the idea has been and needs to be shift these employment from UK to India. What we have done on one hand is created more employment in UK, and on the other, what we actually want is to have co-production facilities where jobs are transferred to India. But then to be able to do this, we need more participation in co-production facilities. Right? So tourism is one potential which offers a lot of avenues between both the nations. However, there are certain irritants as well. For example, taxes on food and drinks. A lot of beverages from UK which are transported to India, they still are under luxury taxes that go as high as 150%. Now this is where both the countries have started to negotiate, and they are looking at completing these negotiations by the end of 2022. Now, one important reason why both the countries are said to be in complementarity is because there are quite a few products which UK imports amongst its import basket, and quite a few products which India exports in its export baskets. And these exporting products and importing products have a good complementarity. That means what UK wants is what India has. What India wants to export is what UK wants to import. So some of the items that India exports to UK are pharmaceutical, apparels, electrical equipments, vehicles, precious stones and pearls. But yes, this is also true that there is a competing nature of economy as well between both the countries, because of which the trade negotiations have only gotten extended. For example, we also import pearls and precious stones from UK. We also import them. On the other hand, we export them also, right? Similarly, apparel and clothes. As I mentioned, the competition is far from the developing economies of Southeast Asian countries itself. So there are some places where we face some constraints and we want to eliminate them, and that is why we want to negotiate these jobs. There are differences over partnership in the Russia-Ukraine war. UK is critical of any country which is in favor of Russia. However, you have seen the kind of optics and diplomacy that the Prime Minister of UK has spoken of on his visit to India. And of course, the Pakistani cause. right from the time of independence, both Pakistani nationals and Indian nationals, both of them went to UK and they settled. And there is a Pakistani cause also because of the erstwhile possible diaspora of Pakistan origin present, and that is the reason, possibly that is the reason that India and UK do not have many number of defense deals between these two nations. All right. Climate action, people to people ties, more free movement of people across the borders, provision of white collar jobs. These are the requirement of times between both the nations. All right. Now, if you look at the trade basket, we have shared the trade basket. Let's get back to what we have in the feature news segment for today. All right. I will need to share this in a bit. All right. This is today's daily gazette. And here we go to understand what's written in the gazette, quickly glancing through what are the components of India-UK relationship through the gazette itself. All right. To advance trade and investment relationship, India and UK have recently launched negotiations for free trade agreements. So both the countries are negotiating on the trade and what are the issues between both the countries. So both the countries are amongst the largest economies. India during COVID times had replaced UK and France as the economy with the largest gross domestic product. But then again, post COVID, UK has come back again on the top, and India has been the 7th largest economy. Key exports from UK to India are metal ores and scraps, mechanical machinery, non-ferrous metals, business services, intellectual property. And on the other hand, key imports from India to UK are clothing, refined oil, finance, travel, and mechanical machinery. So some components are competing in nature and other are complementary as well. So when you see, this is the reason that we've had extension in the trade negotiations because of some competitive interest, and some of them are even complementary, right? Merchandise export has been $16 billion, although this is not rising as India's trade with some of the other nations is rising. We have cooperation on civil nuclear agreement. We have a diaspora which is helping each other. Economic and commercial relations do exist. As I mentioned, there are innumerable partnership between both the countries. UK is one of the largest investors, FDI investors in the country. In fact, European Union altogether is the largest investor for India. And when these economies which have innovation, which have manufacturing potential, which want to establish industries, which also have funds to establish this, we need these kind of industries. And that's why India is accelerating these partnerships. So India's partnership with Australia, India's partnership with UAE, India's partnership with UK, India's partnership with the EU and America, all of them are complementary in nature. On the other hand, India's partnership with Southeast Asian countries or Japan, South Korea, those need some assessment and revision, because in those what we have finally resulted into is importing more than exporting more. Here is where we are creating jobs. Culture, people of Indian origin are the single largest segment of ethnic population, and many of them are in white collared profession in UK. Doctors, chartered accountants, engineers, many of them are Indians who are present in UK. The challenge is one legacy of colonialism, right? Separation, partition, and the way UK has been treating Pakistan in favor in the first 30-40 years at least. So that legacy is what are the challenges, and that legacy still remains somewhere in the hearts of negotiators. Difference over Ukraine, but then you saw how optics work, right? When both the nations want to move away from China, when India and European Union also wants to move away from China, they will all speak in favor of each other. All right. Pakistan factor, as I mentioned, British has never openly supported India's participation in United Nations Security Council as permanent member, right? There has been a slow growth in external trade between both the countries. There have been tariff and non-tariff barriers between both the countries. One simple example is alcoholic beverages. Tariff barriers, non-tariff barriers, textile, food products, right, vegetative products, all of them when imported to European countries, UK, they are sent back because there is some or the other issue that they find is lagging. So India competes with countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, Cambodia in exporting textile products. All right. India is a market, then a partner. India secured the migration and mobility partnership and gave employment opportunities in UK without labor market tests. But India had to concede of accepting the undocumented Indians from Britain. All right. So India is a market, then a partner. India is a market providing labor force also in Britain. However, but quite a few people residing in Britain have undocumented Indians in Britain as well. So are they natural partners? Yes, of course. Development of vaccinations in UK have aided vaccination development in India as well. They want to leverage the potential of free trade agreement so that both the nations share those products which are complementary in nature. See, in free trade agreement, one important part of negotiation is share what is the requirement, what is mandated. So what is mandated is to develop competencies to share those items which one of the country needs and the other country can provide. If these are the items in which free trade negotiation must happen, this will go ahead. And the items in which the reservation is there from UK side or India side, those items will still be kept in the reservation list. For example, if India says we want to still keep an item called as alcoholic beverages in the reservation list, right? These are those consumer products which are high end and which are luxury products. We still want to tax them just like what we tax in India. So India will have this in its list. Similarly, UK will say that all right, in that case, the food products, the milk and food products that you want to export, milk products, those products we will also have on reservation list because we have a decent industry. We do not want to get hurt because of these kind of partnerships. But then India would say that would you like to import shrimps and other marine products from us? UK says yes. So they will reduce down the tariff here. So this is how the agreement works. On the other hand, UK will say we will want to manufacture certain nuclear installations in the country, and India will say let's co-partner this. So the taxation on these kind of nuclear installations that India will start to import, that will further decrease. Negotiations will happen in those items which are complementary in nature. Those which are not complementary will be ignored. So these trade negotiations need to be expedited. All right. India is a big investor into the UK as well, like finance tech, electric vehicles and batteries. It provides source of employment. Many people of Indian origin, they move to USA, UK, and then they get employed. But this is the point of contention until very late, because UK would send back many students who studied there and would not give them work visas. But then this has now been sorted out. But then there's further need of expanding the scope of employment in UK. Science and technology cooperation, future power. When the world sees India as a future power, they want to participate and shake hands with India. So the idea is to target the British Indians for the Indian cause. So harnessing the potential of India's diaspora. Return of heritage, right? So India has drawn down expectations of return of heritage owing to legal hurdles. Have you heard? UK has been passing on those kind of heritage properties which are there in UK and now passing on to India. Legal hurdles. Recognizing geopolitical needs. This is the most important concept of the day. Geopolitical needs mandate India and UK to be better partners in the times to come. That is why this treaty being expedited as of now. India is expediting those kind of treaties with nations which have mutual interest with India, primarily because these are the times of disruption when India sees itself as a partner which can participate and provide products away from what China has been providing. That will be beneficial for India's development. So what did we understand in India's UK partnership? If there are questions, please post them down here in the comment section. I will look at it. India and UK partnership. We understood the kind of trade relations both the countries share, the complementarities and the differences that they have in trade. We understood what are the opportunities between both the nations, right? Diaspora is an opportunity. The present crisis to diversify the imports is an opportunity. FDI is an opportunity. On the other hand, challenges also do exist between the relationship. For example, the historical legacy of partition, Pakistani diaspora, less participation in increase of trade, the challenges in the economies, right? The competing economies. So we understood the opportunities, the challenges in relationship, the comparison between both the economies, export and import, and some other factors influencing the trade relationship between both the countries. For example, the current geopolitics. All right. So this is how we cover relationship with an important trade partner and ally in international fora, India and UK partnership. All right. In case you like this initiative, show some love through likes, comments, and shares. And you have questions, please put it down in the comment section. Thank you for contributing. Babani, Ashish, Shriti, Amlan, Nima, Gopal, all of you. I will see you all tomorrow evening, and Kim. So, questions, please put them down in the comment section. We'll get back to you. Thank you.